you may be running out of time. I personally don't believe that. I don't want to push that and put fear out there. But if something is going to go down, you may be running out of time to prepare. We're back, LP, Lucid Perspective channel. We are back. I'm not on mute. Everything is good. We're ready to go. It is March 5th, 2024. Unless you're living under a rock. You know, earlier today, we had Facebook outages. We had Instagram outages. We had some other type of outages again. Right, this time was kind of more internet-based. I think last week we had some cellular service issues with cell phones and AT&T, T-Mobile, etc. What's going on? We have all these, depending who your sources are, what you're listening to. We got different dark conspiracy theories floating around of some impending blackout, some impending power outage. People on this side saying, hey, get ready. It's going to be bad. We're going to lose power. We're going to lose communication. We're going to lose resources. You got other people over here talking about the sun. It's going to be a solar ejection. Maybe something from space, an alien tech. I don't fucking know. It's all type of stuff going on. Regardless of what you believe, what you lean towards, what you're listening to, I think we can all agree that there's definitely something in the fucking air surrounding this dark conspiracy, this dark cloud looming over everybody's head. It's constantly being reminded to us on social media, in the news, in movies, biblical references. I mean, it's almost as if either this is all fake and everybody's talking about it and it's being pushed upon us so we can all stay in a state of fear, or it's real, something is going to happen, and all of this is just preparation media, preparation news. They're just trying to put the feelers out. They're trying to tell people, hey, something's happening, something's coming. We can't avoid it. We can't tell you specifically what it's about, but at least we're trying to prepare you. We're going to watch these clips about the news. The news is definitely talking about EMP attacks, cyber attacks, blackout attacks. I feel like we're getting into an area where these types of outages are becoming more and more common, more and more frequent. Right. I remember we had a big one for Facebook maybe a year or 2 years ago where Facebook was down for like 10 or 12 hours. Right. Some huge outage. And now these things are starting to pick up and become more frequent. You know, they may be isolated to certain areas. They may be isolated to certain networks. But we're starting to see a pattern here, a potentially exponential pattern developing where it's becoming more frequent and increasing. So is something about to go down? I don't know. Let's check out the video. Let's see what the news thinks, what the news has been talking about, and dive a little bit more deeper into this.
Cars could be paralyzed. Airplanes could fall from the sky, and power would vanish in a flash. All this and more devastation could happen if the U.S. is hit with an electromagnetic pulse bomb.
Well, analysts warn such a strike is possible, perhaps even likely. Gary Lane explains what these attacks are and how the U.S. should be preparing for them.
Look how they're framing it. Listen how they frame stuff like this.
An electromagnetic pulse bomb, or EMP, is a nuclear weapon designed to explode high up in the atmosphere and knock out a country's electrical power grid.
Hits the Earth's surface, feeds into our electrical wiring, it starts shorting out the entire power grid. If they launch 3 missiles, eastern, central, western United States, it would shut our grid down permanently.
Historian Dr. William Forstchen is a New York Times best-selling author and expert on EMPs. His new novel is 5 Years After, a political thriller about the aftermath of such an attack. Most people assume Russia or China would be the countries most likely to target the U.S. with an EMP. However, Forstchen believes North Korea is the more likely culprit. Nuclear weapons expert the late Peter Pry agreed. 5 years before his death in 2022, Pry warned that Kim Jong-un's launch of a high-altitude ballistic missile was a test of North Korea's EMP capabilities against the United States.
The Japanese and South Korean military both described it as practicing for an EMP attack because it was burst
look at the headline. EMP global threat.
It was at an altitude
of
fear.
The higher the altitude of the missile, the wider the area of destruction. Pry explained how it would devastate an unprepared United States of America.
Cars would be paralyzed. Airplanes could.
But are we prepared for anything? What do you mean unprepared? We're never prepared for anything. So what is he talking about?
So what can be done to protect the nation?
Do we
Recent
need-
legislation
are we
sets
that
aside
Are we that dependent on electricity? Where I guess we might be. We might be so dependent on electricity that, and this is by design, of course, I would hope if an EMP or some type of event happened that killed all of our electricity, we can find ways to unite and to become sufficient on nature through the methods we used back before 200 years ago when we didn't have electricity. I know fire was a huge thing. We still had irrigation, plumbing. I mean, humans, we are very resourceful when it comes to survival. Granted, I can't imagine going back to ancient times without electricity. I'm sure we'll figure it out. We'll figure out farming and gardening, raising livestock, using fire for light. I mean, I'm sure all of that is not our prime. When you think about it, you're like, I can't go to that. That's not my life. I wasn't. But we're raised. Most of us alive today don't know that lifestyle. We all have electricity, and we all take it for granted and advantage. So, like I said, everybody for some reason is gung-ho about there's being some type of event, some blackout. We got so much shit going on this year. We have Biden versus Trump round 2 this year. We have the crisis, the illegal immigration is coming to this country. We have inflation. We have everybody's fucking broke. Every single body. We have so many issues, and now we got to add on top of this these theories, these conspiracy theories of World War III, blackouts, power outages, solar flares. In all of this, what can we do as responsible adults with families, people to protect, people to provide for, people to take care of? What can you do? It's almost if you don't do nothing, right? If you're in 2024 and you're living like everything is Gucci, I think that's a stance you could take. You can manifest the best case scenario in your reality. I do believe that, honestly. However, I do feel like it is also better to be safe than sorry, right? This is what I would do. Granted, if you financially can, go get a generator. Go get some of those dry foods. They're like ration foods for like when you're camping, or they have companies that sell emergency food supply buckets. I got some the other day. I got like 4-week buckets, which is like 16 weeks. Walmart sells those dry food things. They're good for 25 years. There's things you could do to prepare. Stock up on water, stock up on those rations, stock up on batteries, stock up on weapons, if you believe that, ammo. And I'll put it this way. Do not get these things with the intent or in a fear state where you feel like something is definitely going to go down. I would get it just because. And if nothing happens ever, there's no crazy event, that's fine. You have it. Those things are good for 25 years. Those food items are good for 25 years. You never know, right? Some could happen within the next 25 years. You got it this year, and you're good to go. I think everybody should be on have some preparation plan for your loved ones. If you lose communications, you can't communicate. Even stock up on gas. Go get some of those gas canisters. Fill them up. A couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That can't hurt. I know gas ain't the cheapest right now, but something's better than nothing. And just have your doomsday preparation ironed out. Because again, these blackouts, these issues are becoming more frequent. For instance, we had AT&T was down for hours a week ago. Facebook was down today, Instagram. Like we rely on these communication apparatuses so much, our cell phones, our social media. Just imagine if you couldn't get in communication with anybody. You should have a plan in place. So go ahead, prepare something. Maybe, hey, if we all lose communication, everybody go to this house. Come to your mother's house, your father's house, your brother's house, your sister's house, whoever. Have a plan to bunker up and just ride the wave, because you never know what's going to happen. Now, some theories. There are some theories. If you're a spiritual, biblical person, there's these theories about a 3 to 10 day blackout where, I don't know, it sounds crazy. There's nothing, no sunlight, supposedly, just darkness for 3 to 10 days. Sounds spooky. It sounds freaky. That's because it is. I personally don't believe that. I believe it could be, if there's a 3 to 10 day blackout, it probably is just going to be communication and electronic. I don't know about the sun going out and not coming up. I don't know how that works. Granted, we do got chemtrails. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Just speculating here. But, depending what you believe, you're getting all different type of stories. All I can say is here at Lucid Perspective, we just want to give you information, help you guys out, give you the tools necessary to make wise decisions. So just go ahead, go get your stuff. You may be running out of time. I personally don't believe that. I don't want to push that and put fear out there. But if something is going to go down, you may be running out of time to prepare. So I'm gonna leave on that note. I appreciate you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Go ahead, send this video to someone. Tell them to get prepared. Follow me on TikTok, Lucid Perspective 111. Follow me on YouTube at Lucid Perspective 111. And follow me on Instagram, Lucid Perspective. Thank you guys. Stay safe, stay prepared, and just hope for the best.